Imagine starting with almost nothing but an idea and turning it into one of the most powerful businesses the world has ever seen. This is the story of Jeff Bezos, a man who redefined ambition, risk, and perseverance on his way to unimaginable success. Jeffrey Preston was born in 1964 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. His early years were marked by constant curiosity and a fascination with how things worked. His mother, Jackie, was a teenager when he was born, and life was not stable in those first years. His biological father left when Jeff was very young, leaving Jackie to raise him on her own until she remarried. When Miguel Bezos, a Cuban immigrant, entered their lives, things began to change. Jeff took his surname and grew up proudly as a Bezos. From the beginning, Jeff stood out as different. He was intensely focused, often losing himself in books, science, and invention. As a boy, he built contraptions out of spare parts, once rigging an alarm to keep siblings out of his room. He also showed determination early on. When he wanted something, he wouldn't let go until he achieved it. In high school, he spoke openly of wanting to build a company someday, a vision far beyond the thoughts of his classmates. Teachers noticed his sharp intellect, but also his seriousness. Jeff wasn't the most popular kid, but he was one of the most driven. After finishing school, he entered Princeton University, where he studied computer science and engineering. At Princeton, he found himself among the brightest minds in the country, yet he thrived in that competitive environment. He graduated and entered the corporate world, working at firms where the pay was high and the future secure. To many, he had the perfect life, prestige, money, and recognition, but deep down, Jeff felt a sense of emptiness. He knew he wasn't meant to simply climb the corporate ladder. He wanted to build something transformative. One day, he discovered a statistic that would change his life forever. Internet use was exploding at thousands of % each year. Most ignored this detail, but Jeff saw a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He knew this was the beginning of something massive. The idea of an online business began to form in his mind, but turning it into reality meant leaving behind comfort and safety. Friends and mentors warned him not to take the risk. His boss told him the idea was foolish and too uncertain. Still, Jeff couldn't shake the thought. He made the painful decision to walk away from his stable career. With his wife's support, he packed up his belongings and drove across the country, sketching his business plan along the way. In a small garage, he began the long, exhausting journey of entrepreneurship. The early days were brutal. The team was small. Resources were limited and failures were constant. Jeff worked countless hours, sacrificing sleep, personal comfort, and financial security to push forward. There were nights when he doubted himself, wondering if he had made the biggest mistake of his life. Critics called him reckless. Investors laughed at the idea. Many predicted the venture would collapse within a year. But Jeff had something most people didn't, an unshakable belief in long-term vision. He told his team they would not chase short-term profits. They would focus only on growth and customer loyalty. This mindset brought both praise and heavy criticism. The company lost money for years, and many believed it would never survive. Yet Jeff refused to give up. He reminded his employees, "It's still day one," meaning they had to think like a startup every single day. Through relentless work, the company expanded beyond books into new categories, slowly but steadily. The challenges never stopped. Cash ran short, competitors attacked, and even within his team, people questioned the strategy. Jeff, however, thrived under pressure. He believed setbacks were only steps toward something greater. His leadership style was intense. He demanded excellence, often pushing people harder than they thought possible. He believed sacrifice was necessary, that without discomfort, no true progress could be made. The journey wasn't without personal cost. Long hours and constant pressure took a toll on his personal life. But Jeff was relentless. Every obstacle was an opportunity to prove his vision right. Bit by bit, the business grew. Customers trusted it. Investors began to believe, and slowly, success emerged. Even then, Jeff knew growth was fragile. He reinvested every dollar, delaying profits to fuel expansion. Competitors underestimated him. They thought his company was only about selling things. But Jeff was building infrastructure, technology, and loyalty. The risks were enormous, but so were the rewards. His empire continued to rise brick by brick, challenge by challenge. From the outside, it seemed like a sudden success story. But inside, it was years of sacrifice, failure, and persistence. Jeff's journey proved that wealth and power are never built overnight. They are forged through courage, patience, and resilience. From a young boy curious about science to a leader commanding $1 trillion empire, his path was anything but easy. It was filled with obstacles, doubts, and sacrifices most would never dare to make. And yet through it all, one truth remained clear: bold vision, relentless work, and the courage to take risks can change the world. So the question now is, whose story of fortune and empire should we uncover next?